Ray Robinson turned pro December of 2006 at age 19. He had a win over Nigel McKnight. And his Ugas, 330 and 15 and all kinds of amateur titles in Cuba. Then he turned pro in the USA in Atlanta in 2010 with a big victory over Dino Domonjic. Then he ran off 11 straight wins to begin his career. And as I mentioned when we were in his locker room, all 3 of his losses were by decision and 2 of those by split decision. So he's a pretty good fighter. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is moving into the middle as we take a look at the tail of the tape. Not too much between them. A little bit taller as Robinson. The weight's almost the same. A pound separates them, a year separates them. And just a slightly longer reach in favor of Ray Robinson. So the tail of the tape doesn't tell us a lot. They're both coming off wins. And we'll have this fight underway for you momentarily. And this is our Hall of Famer, Jimmy Lennon Jr. They call him the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr., great friend. I did fights with his dad years ago. And Jimmy, of course, one of the 2 premier boxing announcers in the world, and here he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the Mandalay Bay Event Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions presents our big night of action coming your way, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, NTGB Promotions, in association with DSG Promotions and Showtime, as sponsored by Casa Noble Tequila, The Noble Pursuit, and Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. This bout in the ring is presented in conjunction with DeBella Entertainment and is sanctioned by the IBF, the President Daryl Peoples, Supervisor Anibal Miramontes. Introducing our 3 judges scoring from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Tim Cheatham. Also from Las Vegas, Dave Moretti. And from Hollister, California, Steve Morrow. Introducing a 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge of the action, Hall of Fame referee Robert Byrd. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing in an IBF welterweight title eliminator. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at a ready 146 pounds. His record, 24 wins, 2 losses, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, looking for his 14th straight win. Please welcome the IBF number 11 contender, introducing the new Ray Robinson. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, this 12-round attraction, wearing white trunks with red trim, fighting out of Las Vegas by way of Santiago de Cuba in Cuba. He weighed in at the welterweight limit of 147 pounds. His record stands at 20 wins, 3 losses, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked the IBF number 14 contender, introducing Yordenis Ugas. Once again, a referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Robert Byrd.
Okay, gentlemen, you had your instructions in the dressing room. The thing I'll remind you of now is when I tell you stop, what that means is stop whatever you're doing, give me a clean break. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Gentlemen, let's do this.
Okay. All right, this is scheduled for 12 rounds, scoring 10-point must scoring system with no standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved with the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight. And in case of an accidental foul, we'll go to the scorecards after 4 rounds are complete. So here we go. Decked out in the white with a little bit of red on him is Yordenis Ugas, and Ray Robinson is in the black and white trunks with the black shoes. Robinson slides to the right of your screen. Robinson is actually a little bit taller, as you see, 24-2, 12 KOs. What Dennis has as a boxer is a solid boxer. He's got terrific uppercuts. He's got a good jab. He hasn't been known to be a one-punch knockout artist, but in the tape that we showed you in his fight against Nelson Lara, you saw, a nice uppercut and really, really a terrific right hand, and that's what Ray Robinson's got to look out for. A lot on the line for these guys. Since losing to Sean Porter, Ray Robinson has won 13 straight fights, and in his last 7 fights, he stopped 6 men. Won 5 minor titles along the way, and the boxing book on Ray Robinson is a good jab, good body shots, improving power in his last few fights. Likes to fight on the inside, but he's got to work his way in against Ugas, who likes to work from the outside, slings that right hand to the body. One thing I notice about watching Ugas for a Cuban fighter is, even though he has the trainer Ismael Salas, who trains so many great Cuban fighters, he doesn't seem to have a lot of that side-to-side movement, making most Cuban fighters very hard to hit. He's more aggressive and offensive as you see him pressing forward against Ray Robinson. Ray, as you see, of course, is a southpaw, jabbing with his right hand, and his power shot is the left hand. This kid had a really good upbringing in terms of his amateur career.
Yes!
Oh, look at that! And down goes Ray Robinson. The shot clipped him. And that's unusual for Ugas to be able to drop a guy with one shot like that. He didn't soften up Ray much. So Yordenis Ugas comes right after him and clips him with that shot, and down goes Ray Robinson here in round number 1. That's a surprise. Ugas, let's see if he can try to finish him off. I think it was kind of a flash knockdown. It surprised me, and it surprised him. Ugas loaded with confidence here, so since working on it, and right back comes Ray Robinson with his own overhand shot. Closing seconds now of round number 1. We've already had a knockdown here, and now a fight is broken out. There's a flash knockdown that really inspired Ray Robinson, and they battled to the bell in round 1. Now we'll get a look at the replay and see exactly what shot
he found that
Ugas was able to
relax, man. Yo, everything behind the jab. Don't be there after you throw the shots. Give me that. That wasn't number the flag. That wasn't number the flag. And plus he stepped on your foot. Yo, relax, man. Use your jab.
See if the foot's. Yeah, he does step on his foot. He's off balance, so a lot of off balance. But there was a right hand behind it. Watch this. Boom. Kind of a side sort of right hand, and then the front foot, and he's off balance. So he was able to get back up, but clearly Robert Byrd scored it as a knockdown. And at the end of the round, Robinson coming back really strong as he catches Ugas. A nice opening round of the fight. All right, here we go, round number 2. And now Robinson has got to pick up a couple of rounds just to offset that knockdown in round number 1, which was a 10-8 round. Again, Robinson in the black and white, and Ugas. And oftentimes, as we show you the wide shot here, the idea with a southpaw and a right-handed guy is to get your front foot to the outside. Otherwise, there is stepping on it. And in the case of Ugas, he stepped on the foot of Robinson at the same time as his right hand punch, and Robinson went down. That wasn't by design. It just happens when you have a southpaw fighter fighting an orthodox fighter. Ugas with his back to you now in the white trunks. He's the kid from Cuba. Nice straight right hand. Boy, he throws that technically very well, and that's another thing about Cuban fighters, especially under Ismael Salas. They're very, very good technical fighters, Cuban fighters. Reaching for that body downstairs, trying to get a piece of Robinson every time he throws something. Robinson a little bit short with his punches. His counterpunch that time by Robinson that caught Ugas. Ugas with the red trim on his white trunks and the red shoes with the blue trim, the colors of the Cuban flag. Actually, it is a Cuban flag on his shoes. Is that half uppercut that Ugas throws, and he throws a better uppercut than that. That's a slip all the way, Robert right on, and his kind of the legs whipped around of the Orthodox fighter. Ray Robinson, the southpaw, having problems with this guy. It's funny, the way they look out there, Ugas is actually a half-inch shorter, and for the life of me, he looks taller. From this angle, when I see Robinson over here, now he looks tall. I don't know whether it's an optical illusion of the way the guys hold their heads and things like, oh, the uppercut just missed Ray Robinson. I mentioned how Ray Robinson didn't know the Sugar Ray Robinson, and I don't know how many of you, the older fight fans, will remember how great Sugar Ray Robinson was. But he wasn't named for Sugar Ray. So Jimmy Lennon calls him the new Ray Robinson. I like that. Fairly even round with 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10 seconds to go now in the second round. Oh, nice solid shots landed by Ugas, the uppercut, and there's the bell. Remember I talked about the feet tying up by the southpaw on the left hand. Look at this. It happened again, but the referee right on top of it, the Hall of Fame referee, Robert Bird. I gave that second round to Ugas as well, so I've got 20-17. Robinson unofficially in a bit of a hole here, and early going as they work on Ugas.
He steps on your feet, man. So you got to beat him on the outside. You know what I mean? Don't let it, and don't sit there, man, because all he's trying to hit you with that power shot. Keep your jab, throw them combinations, and then move.
Heard what he said, the same thing I was telling you folks, that you got to get that front foot to the outside because he's stepping on that foot all the time. All right, here we go. This is round number 3. Ugas had Robinson down in the first round. The second round was a closer round, but I gave it to Ugas as well. This is round number 3. We're at Mandalay Bay, the event center here, on a night with a world championship fight coming up next. David Benavidez and Ronald Gabriel, and then the main event is Danny Garcia and Brandon Rios after that. Nice body shot followed by the left hand. Ray Robinson in the black and white, and in the white with the red trim is Yordenis Ugas. Ugas had Robinson down in the first round. Robinson in the southpaw trying to touch him up, but when he reaches and throws his right hand, his jabbing hand hard, I'm talking about Robinson now, he drops his left hand, and Ugas realizes it, and he's got a powerful right. Watch it. When he see him drop that hand, and then it opens him up to the body underneath the elbow and upstairs. Every time he throws out, he drops that left hand down a little bit. And then it's opening up both the body on the right side and the head on the upstairs portion when that left hand comes down. Left hand is the power shot of Robinson. Robinson feints and doesn't move. And again, I mentioned that Ugas, for a Cuban fight, he doesn't move as good as much as most Cuban fighters. But he moves it more than Ray Robinson moves his head. In a lot of ways, Ugas is much more aggressive than most Cuban fighters. He's not just a boxer. Not known to be a knockout artist. Yordenis has had 29 fights, 9 knockouts. He's had 23 fights and 9 knockouts. He seems to be sitting down on his punches a lot better now than when I saw him before. And Ray Robinson has had a good string of knockouts lately since his loss to Sean Porter. Won 13 straight. Another thing Ray has got to do is drive off that back foot. He's kind of jabbing off his front foot. He got the left hand through that time. See him jabbing off the front foot instead of driving up the back foot. You don't have a lot of power when you throw your jab like that. Or you see in the Cuban fighter in the white with the red, brings his speed up a little bit closer, then he drives off his back foot to make his jab more effective, and he's got his right hand going behind. Slick movement there. I don't know. I thought Robinson was outboxed in that round as well.
Take your time, right? Take your time. How you feel? Yo, your defense is tight, man. A lot of times, don't pull straight back. You know what I mean? He coming around like this. You can catch it. You know what I mean? Don't get out the way. Keep stepping off, man. Shake him sometime. Go to the side. Okay. Boom, boom, and turn out.
Ozian is the trainer. Okay, watch this now. Big right hand, sweeping right hand, and he gets it in behind his ear, behind his glove and on his ear. And then he taps him with the jab on the way out. Watch this. See him right behind the glove. It's almost on the side of the hand. He's awkward the way he throws that. But effective. All right, we moved to round number 4. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. We welcome our worldwide audience for this championship triple header. Our principal's in there. Yordenis Ugas from Cuba, living here in Las Vegas, taking on the guy in the black and white, the southpaw, and Ray Robinson. Robinson needs to grab a round in a hurry. There's a good body shot downstairs that time. Ugas down bounces up on his toes, and again, not the great head movement that you see from, the really good Cuban fighters. But this guy had a tremendous amateur record. 330 and 15, and a couple of world titles as an amateur and several Cuban titles, which is just like world championship. Does a nice uppercut by Robinson. Now Robinson is having a better round. They're asking for Ray to double his jab. He did double his jab that time, and they get his left hand behind him. But you can't jab going back. And that's what he's doing, because you don't have the leverage, as I pointed out in the last round, of coming off that hind foot. Straight right hand back, and he clicks it right down the chin of Ray. Hard shots. Took the dip that time. 2 hard shots downstairs by Ugas. Another body shot by Ugas. Everything that Ugas has thrown is hard, really hard. So, this is a round where Ray Robinson is probably landing more punches, but the harder shots are being landed by Ugas. So, the judges, Tim Cheatham, Dave Moretti, and Steve Moreau from California, they're going to have to, make a determination whether the amount of punches that Ray Robinson, or the effective punches that Ugas is landing, is worth the winning this round. Only 15 seconds to go now in round number 4, fairly even. Tuxedo another shot. This is going to finish strong here again. Whoa, he gets knocked down after the bell. Robert says, no, that's clearly after the bell.
Go ahead.
Robert Bird goes over and says, no. Taking a point away as an intentional foul.
1 point, late. That was intentional. You know it. Don't do it.
I'm going to give Robinson that round, but now he loses a point.
Yo, where you got it? Stop. Yo.
I don't care who does it. You retaliate, I'm gonna get you too. You understand me?
Ya.
Don't do it.
Dice que tiene que tener cuidado, tú tranquilo. Tiene que ponerte vivo, Yordenis, no te duermas. Ese tipo está naqueado. ¿Cómo te sientes, Yordenis?
Punch after the bell and considered intentional by Robert Byrd. I was just about to give Robinson that round, which would have made it a 10-9 round. Got him back in the fight a little bit.
Porque está muy alto, ponte chiquitico.
Scoring is
Ponte
correct.
chiquitico y trabájalo, combínalo.
Sisma Charles,
No coja los manotazos eso.
look at this. Bell ends and they keep going at it, the two of them, and in the process, Yordenis Ugas gets knocked down. All right, so I have it scored 39-35 after Robert Byrd took the point off for the foul after the bell. We move to round number 5. It's Yordenis Ugas in the white trunks with the red trim. We'll have to see if he's been hurt at all by Ray Robinson. Robinson was hurt by losing the point. But Robert Byrd did exactly what he should do because that was an intentional foul. This is round 5. Remember, it's scheduled for 12 because this is an elimination fight. The IBF championship, which is Errol Spence Jr. He holds the IBF title. Someplace down the line, one of these two guys is going to get a shot at it. This fight's getting real interesting. They're mad at each other now. First 3 rounds were certainly controlled by Ugas. Last round, I thought that Robinson might have done just enough to win the round, but then at the end of the round, there's a nice uppercut, and that blinked the eyes of Robinson. That's an effective punch for Ugas. He's dropped guys with that before. Remember, Robinson was down in the first round. Uppercut again catches him. Ugas' punches are just much more hard than those of Robinson. Robinson's best punch was an illegal punch after the bell at the end of the 4th round. Just halfway through the 5th round. Now Robinson is throwing with malice and forethought. Robinson able to land a couple of body shots, but right back comes Robinson, Ugas. Ray Robinson doing a nice job boxing this guy, but he's got to get back to sitting down on his punches. Every time that Ray Robinson lands something, it seems like Yordenis Ugas lands something real hard right behind it. Mouth is open of Ugas. Another hard body shot. Boy, these rounds are difficult to score because you'll see Ray Robinson land a series of punches, then Ugas come back with something real hard. And I just think the damaging blows are being landed by Ugas. I want to give the round to Robinson, but I can't.
Good, right? When you're close to him, man, you gotta let it go, man. You laying in close to him, and ain't letting your hands go. Take it out.
Look at this to the body by Ugas. That one catches him on the chin, digs hard downstairs.
He's trying to get you at the end of the shots, man. You know what I mean? Keep the jab going. Double and triple your jab to get close, right? You hear me? Yeah. You got to double and triple your jab, man. Go to the body.
¿Ok? Todo perfecto. Esta pelea es tuya. Tú no puedes regalarle esta pelea. La mano izquierda esa, cojones, súbela.
Yo, let's go. Sit down. You arm throw. Sit down. Yeah, potential.
Ugas had an opportunity to train a full 8 weeks for this fight. Fought 5 southpaws in his career, and he doesn't seem to be having any trouble with Ray Robinson. Now, Ray Robinson has boxed very well in the 4th and 5th round. In fact, I was going to give him the 4th round, and I wanted to give him the 5th round, but it just seemed like the punches of Ugas were just so much more powerful and more damaging that I ended up giving him the round. We'll see how the judges feel about that. Tim Cheatham and Dave Moretti from Nevada and Steve Morrow from the state of California are the official judges. Of course, Robert Byrd, the Hall of Famer, is the referee. Chopping right hand by Yordenis Ugas. Robinson touches him up with that right hand, misses with the right hand, light blow with the left. Really powerful here. Ugas making a miss. Ugas looks like he's trying to get a second wind here now. Yeah, that's blocked on the glove. Southpaw trying to get behind the glove into the ear of Ugas, but just doesn't seem to be able to do it. Not much between him here past the first minute of this round, number 6. Remember, this is scheduled for the full 12 rounds. As an elimination bout. Ugas again lands 3 punches in a row, and this time Robinson comes back, kind of punching straight right hand again by Ugas. Ray, no side-to-side movement, very little movement with his head. Little feint by Ugas, and now Ugas is going to land something hard to get the attention of the judges again. And again, this is one of those rounds where Ray seems to be throwing more punches, and you're kind of leaning towards him to score this round for him, but it's tough. Hard shot to the body again. And again, for all the work that Robinson's doing, he's going to the well a lot. He's coming up dry. Left hand, he's clipped by Yordenis Ugas. Ugas right in front of him now. Usually he'll dip and throw something hard here. Backs off this time. Looks like there's a little blood inside the mouth of Ugas. Robinson was down in the first round, kind of a flash knockdown and kind of a half trip over the outstretched leg. When you have the right hand of the orthodox fighter against the southpaw, that happens. But there was a punch behind it, so Robert Byrd had no choice but to score it. Another one of these rounds where it's very close. Robinson worked very hard. And there they go again after the bell. Plenty of determination in both of these fighters.
Yeah, same shit. Wait, you got to get right back on him like I told you, man. You got to get on him, man. He tired. He tired. Stop throwing them arm. You throwing arm shots. Sit down, man.
Look at this at the end of the round. Now we're going to show you action. Ugas lands a shot and another shot.
Seconds out, seconds out.
Right back comes Robinson, and then right at the bell, Ugas got another shot up. I gave that round to Robinson because he's worked hard, and I haven't seen many other rounds that I can give him. I thought he was on his way to winning the 4th round, and of course he got knocked down in the 1st round, which is a 2-point round. So I've got it right now 58-54 in favor of Ugas as we enter the second half of the fight. So let's see if Robinson can continue boxing well, or these hard punches by Ugas are enough to give him these rounds. Oh, right hand. That's a clean right hand that drops Ray Robinson. Counts up to 4 and 5 and 6. That one really caught him. And 7.
Hey, it's
And
okay. You got to show me something. You understand?
Says it's okay, and referee Robert Byrd says, you got to show me something now. Ugas wants to move in and finish this thing off, and he's all over him. He's stumbling around. He's in a heap of trouble. I don't think he can survive this round. Look at this. Ugas all over him. Why doesn't he grab him? He's all over him. If he doesn't answer, Robert Byrd will stop this fight. That's it. This fight's all over. It's all over. What a finish and what a great victory for Yordenis Ugas, who just puts the hurt in the 7th round on Ray Robinson after dropping him and then putting the assault on him. And you knew that Robinson was hurt when he went down, because he went down hard from the punch and then he banged his head. When you see the replay, you'll see. Yeah, he doesn't understand why he stopped the fight. The reason he stopped the fight is because he didn't throw any punches back. You get a couple of choices. You either got to grab the guy, slide down the ropes, or take a knee. And if you don't do that and you don't throw any punches back, you heard me say it right before Robert Byrd stopped the fight, that he's going to have to stop this fight, and that's what he did. Nice victory for Ugas, which puts him in line now for a shot at Errol Spence Jr., who's the reigning IBF championship champion. We'll show you the replay of the knockdown and then the stoppage of the fight, which absolutely was proper by Robert Byrd. All right, here we go. Watch this. Right hand right in the temporal area towards the top of the head, and the head banged in the canvas, and eases, although he's full of, watch this, right there. Boy, that one was lower than I thought. I thought it was a little bit higher. It caught him right on the ears, so the equilibrium is way off. Look at this. He's got all the courage in the world to get back up, but watch what happens after this. He's got nothing left. 1, 2, 3, clean. 4. No punches being thrown back. 5, 6, 7. At this stage, Robert Byrd's got no choice. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 unanswered punches, and that's it. And a 13th one, he comes off. And at this stage, Robert Byrd does what real good referees do, and he jumps in there and grabs onto the guy and stops the fight definitively. There's no question. So Ugas scores a 7th round technical knockout victory over Ray Robinson. Very good and interesting fight. I only gave a couple of rounds to Robinson in the fight. I gave him the 4th and the 6th. I was stretched to give him the 6th. The 4th round, I gave him the 10-9 round, but he lost the points, so it ended up being scored 9-9. So, Yordenis Ugas. And we'll make it official with the classiest ring announcer of them all, Jimmy Lennon Jr., waiting to get his cue. He has it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 5 seconds in round number 7. A referee in charge, Robert Byrd, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, Yordenis